sprint at the end, and I don't think I could have given it any more, but maybe at some point I could have gained a second if I'd really tried.
So, tell us how it went. I'll go back so I can see your medal.
Okay, here it is.
Brady here, and you've just run 26 miles, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Tell us how it went.
It went really well. I got a PB. It was actually equal to...
Tell us PB, what it means?
It was personal best. So it's like my best time.
So what was the time then?
It was 3 hours, 5 and 49 seconds, which is the same as the PB I had in 2021. But because I'm a little bit older, I think
it's even better.
It's better, yeah.
And which point of the 26 miles is the most exhilarating?
Oh, it's got to be the finish. The finish is like really exciting when you know it's going to be all over and
What does it feel like? I can have no idea myself.
It's amazing. You're just so tired. It's hard to think straight, but it's just amazing to see the finish line. Yeah, it's great.
And how many times have you done the London Marathon?
This is the second time.
And how many other marathons do you run?
I've run, I think, 3 other marathons. Yeah, Valencia, Boston in the UK, and York Marathon. Yeah.
Oh, amazing! And so, what does training for a marathon entail?
Training for a marathon is very hard. Anybody who's trained for a marathon will know that there's no. It's not equivalent to training for shorter distances. Like there's no escape. If you don't train, which I didn't for my last, I had a slight injury, so I couldn't train last time I ran London, and I ran 3 hours 15, which isn't a bad time. But it was 10 minutes slower than the time that I could have run because I wasn't able to do the proper training. So yeah, training.
So what does the training entail? How long does it last?
I'm running every weekend. I run a long run, which is around about 20 miles, and during the week I train. I do a track session, I do a tempo run, and I do easy runs. So I'm doing about maybe 60 miles a week.
60 miles a week.
Yeah.
For how long?
Some people
all the time, just your whole life?
Pretty much, yeah. There's always another marathon.
There's always another marathon.
Yeah, I'll have a couple of weeks break. And I run other distances as well. I recently went to the Masters World Championships in Poland, where I ran a half marathon, kind of in preparation for London. And that was a great experience, but we did have the issue with some trans-identifying males competing. So it was the week. It was the week when World Athletics actually announced their policy, which supported not allowed. Yeah. And most of those trans-identifying males, we think, didn't turn up, which was a good result. It meant that the women who were worried about competing in those races didn't have to compete against males.
Yeah.
But overall, there's a lot of one of the problems is that we just don't know. Like, without scrutinising every poor woman that is running and going, is that?
Yeah.
I hate that. I feel like I'm looking at people thinking, there's no openness about it. We don't know.
You're not allowed to ask,
whether,
are you?
like today in the London Marathon, I have no idea. There could have been trans-identifying males running ahead of me. I haven't been able to look at the results yet, but it's important to me. I look at the results for my age category. I'm 50. I'll be 51 next year.
No way.
Yeah. So the
running is good for you.
Yeah, I only started running actually when I was 45. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, and it's become a really huge part of my life. I've got.
What's the best bit about it? Why do you love it so much?
I don't know. It's just I feel like I sort of hit middle age, and I've also been through the menopause, which was really hard. And I just decided I really cared about my physical fitness, and I wanted to, look after myself and live a healthy life as much as I could. And I needed to find a way to motivate myself to do that. And running was it. I joined a club and I've made lots of friends through it. And doing well in races is really motivating for me. And I'm not going to win races.
No.
I'm not going to be the first woman even. I can do well in my age category, and that's why we have categories as a sport, is to give us that that competition. If we didn't have a male and a female category, females would just never win. We would never be at the front.
I was down there at the 8 mile mark from before the runners got there, and then saw elite runners passing, and then you see the volume increasing.
Yes, you can see the balance.
For the first 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, I'm not sure exactly. I'll look back at my videos, but it's all men, and then you start seeing the first women, and it's like wow.
Yeah, I mean even at the elite level,
there's nothing ambiguous about it.
No, I see. So today, the first man won in a time of 2 hours 1 minute, and the first woman was 2 hours and 18 minutes.
That's quite a big difference,
It's
isn't it?
it's a huge difference, and 2 hours 18 minutes is a super fast time for a woman. And
Say
2:01,
again how much it was?
2:18, 2 hours and 18.
Is that like a record?
It's not a record. I think 2 hours 15 is the world record, the women's world record. But it's still a super fast time, and that's the ballpark. That's the sort of ballpark that the very best in women are running. But in the men's race, we're talking 2 hours 2:01, 2:02, which is it's just a completely different league.
Completely different. That's like you could go and have a coffee in that time and come back.
Yeah, and I see it in every single race that I run, 5K, 10K, half marathon. The men that I'm running with that are running the same speed as me, they're fit men, but they're not training like I am. They're just not running isn't as serious for them. It's just a different thing.
It's easier for them.
Yeah, and the men who are in my age category, who are training like me and running and competing at masters level, are running miles faster than me. They're 10 half marathon, 10 minutes, 15 minutes ahead of me. So yeah, it's there's no ambiguity about it, and there's no denying it. It's every single race. There's a website called Run Britain Rankings. It's linked to a website called Run Britain Rankings, which is linked to the website Power of 10, which is a well-known Power of 10. You can see the results of every UK measured race from 800 metres, 1500 metres to half marathons and marathons. And you can just pick randomly any race and have a look at the results. And it's just
clear as day.
Yeah. Everybody knows, anybody involved in running or who runs themselves knows that. It's been a shock to me that this is even a thing that we have to
When did you first hear that it was a thing?
When did I first hear? I think it was only last year, sort of maybe November last year, when I started to see reports of men actually standing on podiums and winning medals, and I just couldn't believe that it was something that was being allowed to happen.
It's incredible, isn't it?
And then as I sort of look more into it, the idea that you can just reduce your testosterone level and be comparable to a woman, it's just laughable.
So insulting.
Just even in running, like there are sports where it's more, the difference is more. So for example, Amelia Strickler's shot put, this upper body strength of men is like off the scale.
That's right.
Compared to women.
I was listening to a video last night saying that the sports where upper body is involved, there's the biggest, it's 50% difference.
Yeah. And running isn't one of those, but still in running, the difference is vast.
Especially long distance, because the longer it goes on, the more the difference is noticeable, isn't it?
Absolutely. And speaking of testosterone, I went through the menopause at between 45 and 46, and I'll be 51 next month. Yeah, it's pretty early. But I had my testosterone checked recently, just because I was experiencing symptoms just in my normal life, and I wanted to check my hormones levels. I take HRT, normal HRT, so that's estrogen and progesterone. And my testosterone level was 0.5 nmol per litre, which is really low, really low. A normal female level is between 1 and 2.4.
Right.
And males are only, in some sports, only have to reduce to 10.
10, yes.
And in some sports, 2.5.
Right.
But even 2.5 is right at the top.
Right above, and the top of a normal level for a female.
Exactly. And my level, I'm not even allowed to take HRT. So if I took the tiniest amount of testosterone, even to get it up to 1, just to function in my normal life, that I wouldn't be able to race.
You wouldn't actually be able to run the marathon?
No, I would. Technically, maybe I wouldn't be tested, but I compete in the Masters, and they do have good testing.
Hang on a sec. So for all the people that run the marathon, then none of them on HRT?
Like you can take HRT. HRT is normally estrogen and progesterone, and those are not WADA banned substances because they don't improve your performance. But testosterone is a banned substance completely.
So if you take testosterone for whatever reason, you're not allowed to compete in the London Marathon? They won't enter you, or just in a master's
Well, they
level?
wouldn't know unless you were drug tested.
Right.
But it is
But
a ban.
do they drug test some people?
They drug test some people, yes.
Yeah.
They
Especially if you're in one of the elite groups. Or
so I competed in the Masters World Championships, and there was drug testing there.
Yeah.
So there is drug testing, and for me, running's so important to me. If I was drug tested and banned, I would feel ashamed. I would be humiliated,
Yeah.
and it would take away my ability to compete and do something that I really love.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for talking
no
to me.
problem.
I'm going to turn it off right now. That was really good.
All right, thank you.